I want to rewind a little bit.
Let's rewind.
I want to rewind and go back where you talked about, being in Ohio, right? And when you were transitioning to Florida, the people that you were working with being like family.
Yeah.
And moving to Florida, right? And finding those relationships and finding family there as well, right?
Absolutely.
So we have our core family, right? Our spouse, our children, our immediate family, but we also have, a very close extended family. And then moving back and saying, hey, look, here I'm back with this extended family, but branching out and then going into the new company and saying, hey, look, we're hitting it off. And now it's feeling like family here. And what I want to kind of bring out of that is, this industry, the relationships that you develop are so deep, right? And so connected. So beyond the amount of money, that you can make. And you've made, listen, I've seen your numbers at the organization. So I know you made some money, right? Yeah. Right. And I'm pretty sure you're doing okay now and you're in your position now. Yeah. So here's the thing. What have the relationships that you've developed, what has having the right culture to be a part of? Because at the time, even the organization that we were in together, the culture was very strong, right? Which kind of drove those personal relationships. And I still have great relationships with the people from the organization as well, including some you mentioned. So I know exactly what you mean. What has that meant for your success in this business? And how, for someone that's maybe bridging into the business, like, how important is that for them to be successful?
I would say it's everything. You are the company that you keep. Successful people surround themselves with other successful people. People that want to be successful want to hang out with the guys that are, putting up big numbers or recruiting or whatever the case may be. You want to surround yourself with successful people because it's like almost an addiction, man. I mean, when I would work with, we'll just use Tucker as an example. When I would work with him, I would see him, man, Tucker's already at, XYZ and I'm still sitting here, and it's healthy competition. But you want to see each other do well. And I think it goes beyond that. Those guys were there for me when I was at my lowest, when I was in South Florida by myself with at the time, an 11-year-old, and they surrounded me and anything that I needed. They were more concerned about my well-being than the numbers I was putting up. And that meant a lot. When you want to work and you want to grind and you want to hustle just because you have so much respect for your upline, man, that's a different game. You want to make them do well. You want to do well, and you want to have them almost like be proud of you, be thankful for you. And it was great, man. I would say, you see, and I know you've seen it too, people with so much potential, so much natural potential that they don't even know, but they're hanging out with the wrong people. Yeah. And they're not getting to where they need to be. So I would say, surrounding yourself with successful people and people that are invested into you is everything.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because at the end of the day, it really is a people business, right?
Yeah.
It's about the people. So now at this stage, you've kind of transitioned, from the agent phase, and now, you're at the agency manager, kind of on the other side, being of service to agency owners and brokers. How do you stay, what keeps you motivated now? What's keeping you moving? What's keeping Zachary, looking towards the finish line?
I've never lost that self-employed mindset. I am in a company right now that I really, really like, and I'm only 2 months in. And I want the same thing that I wanted from, people like Michael, people like Tucker, people like Todd, for people for me to make a big impact and for me to be appreciated. That's what I live off of. bringing on that new agency, getting that bonus at the end of the month, making sure people are hitting their numbers results in my paycheck. So it keeps you entangled in the business as opposed to, oh yeah, I didn't hit this goal today. Oh, well, I'll get it tomorrow. No, like, you've always got to keep that grinding mentality or you'll fall out of it. So today, I mean, just to give you a snapshot of my day, had a very good meeting with a rather large brokerage virtually in Philadelphia. From there, went to a networking lunch for the Chamber of Commerce here. Me and my coworker spent about 2.5 hours there networking. From there, came back to the office, finished up some required phone calls and wrap ups for the end of the day. Came home, told my daughter that dinner's going to be a little bit late tonight, and jumped on the podcast. But eventually, man, I will tell you, there's some people out there doing some big things with Medicare and life insurance in a whole, that once I get comfortable in this Medicare space to where I'm operating at a level that I feel competent, I'm going to start selling, life insurance and things like that, because it's out there. I have the license. All you got to do is do your CE credits and keep it up, and pay your renewals. But that's going to be put back into play here too, because before I know it, I'm going to have a high school freshman here as 34 years old. At 35, I'll be 35 by the time she's in high school. I got college coming. I'm going to have to start really sacking some stuff away for that. So that's definitely going to be put back into my arsenal of doing evening and weekend appointments for life insurance, because I'll tell you, man, there's a certain satisfaction that you get when you provide somebody with something that they need, or maybe they didn't even know they needed it. Yeah. And I know you can think of this or you can relate to this as well, but people really you've almost got to take your benefits in your own hands. Some of these companies, oh yeah, this is what you get, XYZ. But, especially with life insurance, hey, you can't take that policy with you. A lot of people out there don't even know what the difference between term, whole, or universal life is. And they think they're good, and they go to retire and they're age 65, 66, 67, however old they may be, and realize that their, policy doesn't go with them. And then they're looking for an insurance. And unfortunately, life insurance goes off age. And, they're going to be paying a lot more for coverage that they had if they just would have put it in place, 10, 15 years prior. I got a lot of self-satisfaction out of that, knowing people had peace of mind when they left their workplace, that they had something that they could keep with them. So that was one of my major things that I really liked about being on that selling end, being on that provider end, is educating, not overselling, and getting people what they need.
Yeah. Awesome, man. Look, I love the fact that, you're still open. Like, you're kind of like you got licensed in 2014, so you are
14, yeah,
2014. So 8 years in, and you're kind of you've had success in one area, one market segment, and now you're saying, hey, look, even though I've had some success there, I'm not going to just stop. I want to evolve, and now I want to become an expert in this Medicare space. And as I become more of an expert in this Medicare space, okay, then I'm still going to incorporate some of the things that I've done in the past, to continue to build from there. So tell me something, man, like what's the end goal for you? 10 years from now, where is Zach Wilson in this industry?
10 years from now, one thing I think that's really starting to kind of, I think, going to be my path is to have my own agency. I really want to have my own insurance agency in all aspects, to be a one-stop shop for everything. That's my end goal. Something that, hey, if my, daughter isn't really sure what she wants to do with her life, whether that's college, whether that's not. And by the way, Rod, I know we're like big components on furthering your education, but let's just face it, man, there's a lot of times that education just isn't for everybody. Like, furthering education past high school just isn't for everybody. I don't think we talk about insurance enough in high schools, man, to be honest with you. You can make a lot of money. You look at these kids out here with their TikToks and their YouTubes and things like that. These kids making money while they're in high school. You really think they're going to go to college? Maybe, maybe not. But like, there's people out there that just education is not for them. You get your insurance license. You could start making money 18, as soon as graduation, take your test, get your license. I don't think we talk about it enough on that level, but going back to what I was saying, it would be cool to have something where if my daughter's unsure what she wants to do with her life, hey, come to work with your dad, check this out, see what I do, and be able to pass that down. I think would be something really cool that I'm really opening my eyes to. Because like you said, we both started off in very similar insurance backgrounds, and you think that's it, but you literally open your eyes and you see what else you can do with that license.
Yeah.
And I do have to remain licensed, even though I'm not selling Medicare right now, or Medicare supplements or Advantage plans or anything like that. Still have to maintain my license because I have to have, keep it up to date to be able to talk about it. So that I would tell anybody, if you do have your insurance license, never let that thing drop, because you don't know when something in your life is going to change. And especially now with all of our technology, you can make a couple $100 here, $1,000 here, just by meeting with someone and helping them.
Yeah. Yeah. Look, the opportunities are really endless. And, it's one of those things where just by having that license, right? Even with the experience, you had the experience, but that license is really what qualified you to be in the position that you are right now, right? It's like you could have still had the same experience, but let's just say you said, hey, I'm going to let my license lapse. You wouldn't be able to do it,
Nope.
So, it's important to, keep that certification, get that designation, and just on the education piece, once again, look, education is important. But as, both of our, I would say, mentors in this business, Scotty Lee used to say, education covers a lot of ground, but it doesn't cultivate any of it. So, it is about, those folks who are going out there and kind of grinding, hitting that ground, pounding it. You got you got young kids in crypto, you got young kids in currency exchanges and drop shipping and real estate stuff and all these cool things, YouTubing, and making hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars in some cases. So there is a ton of opportunity. And there's also a sharpness of minds, I think, in our newer generation that we don't always give folks enough credit for. So I think that, listen, those opportunities are fantastic. They're phenomenal. But think of what that person who has that same mind, and let's say they aren't going to a 2-year or 4-year institution, but they take that and decide to put it into this industry. One of the most successful people that I knew in this business, and you know him as well, only had a 10th grade education, Yeah. So,
yeah.
We're talking about, multimillionaire. So, in this generation, we have folks who are very sharp. So I think you're spot on, man, and saying, hey, look, it's an opportunity. And not to disregard, those who have, secondary degrees or even advanced, because we have, PhDs, doctors, have lots of people who are joining the business that have professional degrees and designations and have been working in other industries as well. I think the point that you're making is that it's open for everybody. There's no limitation, really, for anyone who is willing to have that work ethic, right? Really be about, I'm taking a thing from what you said, right? From what you said in our conversation, having that work ethic, right? Being willing to connect with people and being open to listen, to ideas, and being, willing to keep growing, right?
Yeah.
This is what this is from our conversation, right? The work ethic. It's hey, being open when opportunities are presented and being willing to continue to evolve, right? And not getting complacent with where you are, man. So I think it's pretty phenomenal.